afternoon, everybody. Car Biker here. Still on my Sunday afternoon ride. I'm now just trying to get some air over the bike and get it dried off. I thought I'll do my third little video on bike tech. I did one about tech that comes on bikes, one about tech that people add to bikes, and then the last one I just want to talk about is tech that's coming in the future. Don't like going across the front of cars like that. Some people think that whoever gets there wins, but I think I'm not going to go across the front of a car if there's any chance it's going to pull out and hit me. And also I'd be turning right across the front of them. That's not the done thing, is it? Yeah, future tech. There's quite a lot of tech coming in the future, it seems. I keep seeing things advertised, people creating patents and people putting news stories out there. I mentioned in an earlier video, I think, depending on whether I cut it out or not, about how there's a company that makes ABS and traction control, and how they're pushing for traction control to be on every bike in the future, which I'm sure is great for them for a profit thing, but not necessarily for people who just want a bike for fun and not have to pay extra money for it. But then there's some quite interesting future tech coming along. Some that I think could be great, some that I think could be bad, and some that I think is probably entirely pointless. And I just thought I'd put one out here just to ask people to put in the comments what they think of the future tech that's coming for bikes, and what they're interested in, what they're not. And I'll just talk about a couple of things that I've seen and my thoughts on them. One of them that we keep seeing coming up is head-up displays. I quite like the idea of a head-up display as long as it doesn't distract. I can imagine a scenario where you've got a head-up display giving you Google Maps or something, or Kalimoto, or other information that you want while you're riding along, and hopefully in a non-distracting way. They're assuming it's in a non-distracting way, but you want, as you ride along, that information to navigate or to understand how fast you're going without having to go and look right down there, because I can't see my instruments at all unless I actually bend my head down. Not on this bike. A head-up display sounds like a really good thing to me if it works well. Not as a replacement for all of the other things, but certainly for things like navigation. I think it would be very bad. I wouldn't be for it if it was popping up phone calls, things like that. I certainly wouldn't be very happy if after every turn, as you were doing your satellite navigation, it popped up an advert for something. You can imagine that happening, can't you? I wouldn't want that kind of thing. But the idea of having that in your eye line in a non-distracting way sounds like a really good thing. I know that it's been tried a few times already without a great deal of success, though. I've seen some other tech though where I'm entirely unconvinced. I saw Honda doing a demonstration not too long back of a self-leveling bike, and they actually demonstrated it by having the bike stationary, just stood there upright, but not on a stand. It was just using gyros, I assume, and electronics to understand where it was and to balance itself whilst not moving at all on two wheels, which is very, very clever. I'm not sure I'm not interested in it though, as a concept. They got it to follow them along as well at a really slow speed, just kind of creeping along without falling over, which was quite neat. Again, clever, not sure I'm too bothered. I do know somebody who'd quite like it though. The chap with the ZX6R that I've talked about. He has to, his bike he keeps around the back of his house, and he has to push it down the side of his house through quite a narrow little alleyway or well, not really an alleyway, between a house and a fence. And then the way that his gate is arranged with his next door neighbour is quite awkward, so he's got to kind of turn it 90 degrees and then 90 degrees the other way. And watching him do that, I reckon it'd be really good for him because the biggest problem he's got doing that is not that the bike won't do it, but that he's got to be along the side the bike as he's pushing it out, and fitting the bike and himself through the gap for his fence is actually I don't want to be in this queue, is actually really awkward. Thanks for that. Traffic is absolutely terrible. I don't know what's going on. I've turned around and going back the other way instead. It seems to be gridlock everywhere around here at the minute. Must have been an accident down the road or something. So yeah, so I can see it being useful for him, but yeah, not for me really. And I don't see the overall point of it. You know, bikes are not really, apart from those really weird tight situations, bikes are not really that difficult to move around, are they? And a system like that, I don't think it'll ever make it onto a bike, to be honest, but a system like that would be very expensive, I would imagine, to add to a bike. And again, if it goes wrong, presumably it's electronic. I wonder what happens when the battery gets to the point where it's too low. Does the bike just fall over? Maybe it has an actuator and it actually puts a stand down at that point, I don't know. Yeah, it certainly seems like a technology looking for a solution. or rather a solution looking for a problem, I should say. Because it gets worse. Yamaha did do a test of an entirely self-riding motorbike. I remember seeing the tests, you probably saw them as well, plenty of you, where they had a robot Rossi sat on an R1 riding around a circuit by itself. I'm really not sure what that technology is all about. If it's just technology for the sake of it to learn things and it produces things that are great in the future, brilliant. Yeah, then I'm all for it. It's very interesting. If they actually think that people are going to want that, I'm not quite sure what the point is. I get the point of the self-driving car, though I wonder if we'll actually see something in my lifetime that is a proper self-driving car to the level I'd want it, where you can get in the back and go to sleep and just arrive at your destination and you know, not even remember the journey. I'm not sure we'll ever actually see that in my lifetime. But I definitely wouldn't want that on a bike. Just sit on the bike and let it take you somewhere. That seems like something that nobody's going to want, really, to me. If people really think that we want that, then I don't know. Oh, it's not why I ride a bike. It's not just for the getting somewhere and being on two wheels. It's for the experience of actually riding a bike. For the fact that riding a bike is actually a skill that you can get better at, I hope. Hey! Maybe that's why I'm not too keen on all of these other gadgets that manufacturers put on them. So I think there's definitely a mixed bag of things coming. So I'd be intrigued to know what your thoughts are. Let me know in them there comments. And I think this will be the third and final video of this little kind of ad hoc series, so I'll have to come up with something else to talk about. Anyway, thanks for watching everyone, ride safe, and I'll talk to you all again soon.